Hello, this is Eric. I am here with Steve and JJ and Lloyd, and we're here to talk about our plays of the month for the month of June in the year of 2022. So let's jump right into this one. Lloyd, what was your play for the month of June?
Well, Erock, I'm glad you asked. If anybody watched the channel over the weekend, they saw the one and only game I got to play in June. I got really backlogged with editing and just life, and I only played one game. I have played it 2.5 times, but that game was Nemo's War. So Nemo's War is it's a solo game. They have some cooperative and competitive modes in the back. I didn't really read into them. I know co-op, you kind of take turns, and competitive, one per player is kind of doing the imperialist side or something, but whatever. I didn't bother with it because I was playing by myself as opposed to with myself. But
so technically you split all those roles amongst yourself, right? Yeah.
You are Captain Nemo, and you are sailing around the 12 seas, trying to amass points in a multitude of ways. So you get points from gathering or finding treasures and seeing wonders and sinking boats and keeping crew alive and upgrading stuff on your boat. There's points everywhere. But the game is fairly simple. You essentially, each turn, you play an event card. The event card, there's like 3 different types. You do what it says. A lot of times it's a test. You have to roll some dice and beat a number. And then after you do that, you do ship placement. So every turn, more ships are going to come out. And the later into the game you get, the more and more ships come out. So you start out with 2. And then as you go on, you'll get into 3. And if you get high enough on that notoriety track, you can have 4 ships coming out every turn. And it so has this kind of pandemic feel where you're trying to clear the board and maintain, because as you get further on, you get more notoriety. They're actively hunting you. So bigger and badder ships start to come out. And then on your turn, you essentially have a list of actions that you can do after you place the ship. You can move, you can attack, you can repair, you can upgrade, you can go on adventure, and you can search. And you can rest to get your crew back. So it's fairly simple, straightforward. Where it kind of bogs down in all the rules is all of the different checks that you have to do and kind of what you need to check for. But it's fairly straightforward. There's actually, for as many pieces that are in the game, there's not a lot of like upkeep. You're essentially putting out 2 or 3 ships every turn. On occasion, you have to put a gemstone out somewhere. But yeah, you're just going through essentially 2 years of Captain Nemo's life, which is apparently sailing around the world a couple times in the midst of the story, I guess. They kind of mix those cards in. And yeah, you're just trying to get the highest points available. There's several different motives, and those motives kind of change how you want to play. So like they suggest you start with the explore. And so explore, you're going to get a ton of points for getting treasure and seeing wonders, and not so many points for sinking ships. But then if you play war, where Nemo wants to kill everything, then you're going to get all your points from sinking ships and not so much from exploring, because he's just trying to sink ships. So there's I think in the box, there's like, at least in the Ultimate Edition, there's like six or 8 different motives, and they all change your scoring a bit. And they all have some slight rules adjustments that come with them. Some of them have adventure tokens. Other ones come with specific tokens that you put onto the board while you're playing. So that was my top play. It was my only play, but I did play it. I played it once on the stream, and then I played it again last night. And I played
it was good enough to qualify, even if it was just one play, right? One game, right?
Yeah, I really liked it. I played the second time I played as a pirate. I lost both times, but it's one of those games where you kind of have to play it a few times to see how everything ties together and know when to do things at a specific time. And a lot of it's like pandemic. You think you're doing well, and that one card comes out of the deck and just destroys your whole strategy. And it takes several turns to recover, and maybe you don't. But
what did we learn? Piracy does not pay.
it does pay until you get the event card that turns all merchant ships into warships, and you can no longer pirate them because they're worth no points to you. So that's why I was in my second time. I got almost no points because that event card came out and I was a pirate. So no more sinking merchant ships.
Well, that's cool. That sounds like fun. I'm more apt to play a computer game if I'm playing something solo, so kudos to you and all you solo gamers out there. What about you, Steve? What was your pick for the month of June?
So, man, I know you like these philosophical discussions. So I got one here for you. I knew this was going to happen eventually. Finally, it did. My top play for June is not my favorite game that I played in June. I do like this game, but it's because this game session I played of this game was so good. Right? So, I played another game this month that I like better, but I played a round of Ethnos that was just super fun. And there were 5 of us, and 4 people were new to the game. And 2 of the people were a couple that I have been gaming with recently and just introducing them to new hobby games, right? They haven't played a lot of these games that we play. And I thought Ethnos would be a good one. And, at the end of the game, the husband is on the phone like, hey, where can I buy this? How much is this? Right? Like
I love those nights.
Yeah, yes. I love that. That's just that really resonates. Yeah.
Awesome.
So anyway, Ethnos is it's an area control game. It's a variable points that can be set up on the board, and there's these different areas, and you're trying to get markers in those areas by playing different sets of cards down. It's pretty variable, not only in that the points are different on the map, but also what are they called? Tribes, I think. The tribes that are available in any given game are random. There's a subset of the ones in the box, so you have a lot of variability in the setup. It's also interesting because on your turn, you either draw a card or take a card off the board, or you play a set of cards down. But you can't just hoard cards, because when you play a set down, you have to take all the cards you didn't play and put them out for other people to take. And so that's an interesting dynamic. But otherwise, it's a pretty simple area control game. It's a lot of fun. It's interesting because it's a CMON game, and CMON is known for their grandiose productions, but this is not that. This is the opposite of a grandiose production. I actually think the art on the cards are pretty good, but the board itself is very bland. The markers that you put on for control are functional, very functional, but bland, and this game is screaming for an expansion that adds more tribes and even more variability. But I don't know why they haven't added it, but yeah, you can get this game for like $25 sometimes, on sale or whatever. I don't know what its normal price is, but I've seen it several times for $25 from, online retailers or whatever. And it is well worth $25. It is a solid game, plays up to 6 people, doesn't take very long. And gosh, I would say this is probably a gateway game to area control.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Or area majority. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have the ferry expansion or the promo?
Well, I don't have the ferry promo, but also I looked at the ferry promo. And one, it's really in demand because people want it because of the completionists that are out there. But it's like stupid mean or something. I read it one time and I was like, ooh, I don't think I would even want to play with that card if I had it. I love
play with the ferry. It's so good.
So no, I don't have the ferry. I probably will never get the ferry, but yeah, that's cool. That's cool that you like it.
So good.
That's cool. Well, you know what? I'm going to actually agree with your divergent philosophy, as it were, because quite frankly, the best game I played this month was once again Ark Nova, but that's not what I'm going with.
Oh, wow.
I'm actually going with Crusader Kings. I don't know if anybody's ever played the video game Crusader Kings, but it's a board game based on the video game. I love the video game. I played a ton of Crusader Kings 2 and a ton of Crusader Kings 3. And just in a nutshell, yes, it's kind of a medieval war game, but it's really more about your dynasty and your family. And things happen and you get traits. And just as an example, off the top of my head, this is really something that could happen in the game. Your king goes out hunting, but he breaks his leg. So he goes home but he's sick. and now he gets infected. And now he's infected and he's freaking out. So he starts praying to the devil. And now he gets excommunicated from the church. Like, all of this could happen in that game. So this is really what this game is about. It's about your dynasty and your legacy over hundreds of years as you develop this. And yes, there's a war game. And you kind of like try to, get bigger territories and things like that. But it's medieval style. You don't just say, I'm going to attack that guy. It doesn't work that way. You have to like create a casus belli in order to even go to war against somebody. So it's like this huge involved process for all of this stuff to happen, because it's really just about the family and the dynasty and the story that happens. So the board game, very similar to that feel. I think they did a really good job of encapsulating that feeling into it without making it 12 or 14 hours long. All right, because there's a whole bunch of traits in the game. So you might be, I don't know, mean or shy or, happy or a drunk or something like that. And in the video game, that means something. If you're a drunk, something's going to happen because of that. In the board game, it's not quite that specific. It's basically good things and bad things, and it turns it into a bag builder so that when you want to complete a task, you have to get so many successes. So if I want to attack you, I might need 1 success. If you have a castle there, I might need 2 successes. And then I add up like all the draws that I get, and that's how many successes I need out of my draws, kind of a thing. And then you just start pulling them out. And if it's a good one, it counts for a yes. And if it's a bad one, it counts for a no. And this is how a lot of the skill checks go on. So I know I'm getting kind of like off here in the weeds. I really kind of wish there was a little bit more of the traits meaning something after you have them. But again, they did a really good job of doing this in like 3-hour playtime. So I had a really good time with the people that I played with. I think it's really important that you understand.
Oh, he's back. Okay.
Oh, I left for a little bit. Oh, I'm sorry about that. Yeah. My connection is unstable. I don't know where I left off, but I had a really good time playing with the friends that I played with. Oh. I think it's important that you understand what you're getting into. Because if you think I'm going to go play a war game, no, not really. And like, even in the course of our game, these stories just kind of happened, like one of the guys had a daughter, and he got, her trait was a coward. And he was like, well, yeah, of course. She found out that I killed her brother, which was true. He assassinated his son because he was bad and he wanted a better heir. So like, it makes these stories as you go on. And underneath it, there's a light war game. So anyway, that's my pick, Crusader Kings. If you liked the video game, you'll probably like this a lot.
Wait, how long is the play of that game?
It's pretty long. I think it's 3 hours.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
It's a little fiddly. It's got a lot of little rules for a lot of different things. Based on your
description, I thought you were going to say like 5 or 6. So I was curious. 3, though. 3's all right.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's basically on a timer. There's different scenarios in the game. And the first one, and a lot of them, have to do with the actual crusades. And you don't actually go on a map and go crusading. It's kind of abstracted out. But like, after you get so many crusades, game's over. You know what I'm saying? So kind of like that. So they put a limit on it. It's not like Risk where you just keep going till somebody is the only one left. You know what I'm saying? So again, not an incredibly heavy war game or serious war game, but I had a lot of fun playing it. So that was me. And now we're going to go to JJ, Mr. Jim Jam, and he's going to agree with us. He's going to tell us the game that was the best game he played and the one that he's actually saying. Please, sir.
And why it was Ark Nova. So I'm going to tell you guys. No,
you almost cut my string alive.
Almost. Maybe next month. I didn't get to play it this month. I'm very sad because I do like that game. I missed it just barely. So yeah, it's going to come for me. So eventually, Ark Nova, especially if they have an expansion, would be great. Let's see here. So my game, I think I'm going to go. I could be biased because I did get to play my father's work this month. It finally came in, but I'm not going to be biased. So I'm going to go to the game that I just played for the first time. It is Maracaibo. I don't know if anybody's played it.
Yeah,
I have not.
Okay.
I love the Alexander Pfister, but I haven't played that. So
yes. So if you like Great Western Trail and you like the Western, it is pretty much that without the Western. So you're going around the Caribbean. I think it's the Caribbean. I don't even know. I played it once.
Yeah,
so bear with me.
It's the Caribbean.
Okay. So you're going around the Caribbean. You have a ship and you also have an explorer. going around doing different actions, and then your explorer is getting to do different actions as they move across. I don't even know what island. I'm not a history person or geography. So you have a deck of cards that makes up your hand, so you can build up. I guess it's called like assistants. I don't know what all the different people are called, but you're building up your hand. So you have a tableau. Then you have a player board, which is essentially like your ship. So you can upgrade your ship. So the more I forgot how you get the discs off. There's these little discs that cover up like little player actions on your player board, and you can take those discs and put them onto the game board, which frees up more actions. So typical for me, anything that's like point salad, you do a bunch of stuff and you get a bunch of stuff and you can unlock player powers. It's just great. So the cards you buy give you different things if you go to the different spots on the map. And then some have like actual assistant people. You put them out, and every time you land on the spot, you can either do like a basic action or you can do a special action just for you. You go on an expedition, so you're moving your little guy on the bottom. You're dropping off goods, and then you're also attacking. Now, what's interesting about this is you actually have the 3 different countries. I think it's Spain, France, and England that you used to attack with. That part I didn't really understand. I kind of did that action, but not too much. But basically, the more you attack, the weaker in victory points that becomes. But if you're farther along on that track, then you get more victory points at the end of the game, but you have to pass certain points. I don't know. There's a lot going on. I kind of stuck to one strategy. I really wanted to, bust out my ADHD and do everything, but I stuck to one strategy. I kind of left fighting alone. But I was one of the ones that got my little guy on the bottom all the way to the end of the little exploration. So like in Great Western Trail, you have somebody that makes it all the way to the end, and then that kind of resets the round for everybody. And then everybody starts at the beginning again. So it's like you do that like 3 or 4 times and the game's over. So you basically have to get as much as you can and as quickly. If somebody's trying to end the game pretty quick because they're pretty high on the victory point track, they can kind of screw you out of your turns. You get to finish the round, but it's like if everything's taken before you get there, then you kind of miss out on that. So you can do like the popular actions, but if somebody delivers like cotton, I don't know, there's only 2 spaces on that cotton action where you can deliver it and get stuff. So if those are taken by the time you get there, then you're just kind of out of luck. But yeah, I love it because I'm going to try like 3 other different strategies that I couldn't do while I play because I was still trying to learn. So I kind of take a back seat and let everybody else do something, and then I do what nobody else is trying to do my first time. But yeah, definitely want to build up all the cards, build all the people, build out my board, everything. There's just a lot going on, and I love it. So very much Great Western Trail with a pirate ship.
Isn't that a campaign game?
No,
it can be. Yeah. Actually,
it can be, but
it can be. It's not.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
if I can find the person that owns the game who can run a campaign, I would love to do that. Because I was looking at some of the campaign stuff. It's not really like rip the card up, you can't play again. Basically, you just kind of set stuff aside through the campaign, and then you can just restart and do something different the next time. As far as I can tell, but yeah, it can be a campaign. So I was very excited when they said that.
Yeah, I played this one time, and it was like 2.5 years ago, and I was sort of in the same boat as you. Like there was a lot of stuff going on, different ways you could score points. So I just sort of, and I ended up ignoring that whole influence with the nations and the war and all that, trying to focus on doing something else. I actually was doing. There was like some benefit to jumping ahead really far, like some financial benefit that sort of comboed with some cards I had. And so I was like jumping and pushing the game along really fast to get to the end and try to, combo these things. And gosh, if this one, I ended up finishing second. So, and it was close. So I pushed the game to the end, but I didn't win. But there was one card out there that like it came up and somebody else snagged it before I could get it, that if I had gotten that card, I would have won, right? Because it was based on money or something, like getting points for money or something that I had a lot of. Yeah. I mean, a lot of the details are vague, but yeah, again, I just, I didn't move my Explorer along South America, that South America track, removing the Explorer.
Yeah.
I ignored the sort of influence with the different nations. And I was just, and other people were, I think maybe when you take your discs off, you put them on colonies or something, like, so people were making those actions stronger for themselves or whatever.
Yeah.
But I was just skipping that. I was just skipping ahead to try to get these few things that scored points in my hand. And I almost pulled it off.
Well, it's definitely got that
Interesting.
whole like the Terraforming Mars Ark Nova thing where you have that deck and then you don't realize this card's not until the end of the game. It's like, well, if I had that at the beginning or I had known it was in there, that'd have been very helpful as I passed this one space 3 times. So yeah, I definitely got to play now that I could like know what the cards are coming out. Yeah,
Interesting.
There was somebody that kind of skipped and did that, and it's like you're ending the game because when you end the round or get to the end of the journey, you do get extra victory points or money or something like that. But you skipped everything else, which is kind of the guy that went slow ended up winning because he was just fighting everything and then just taking his time.
Yeah, but I think like you said, this is a Fister game, right? Like I'm not a big Fister fan except for Port Royal. I like it a lot, but that's different than a lot of those other games that people think of when they think of Fister games. But if you like his other games, you're gonna like this one, basically.
Excellent. It's been on our radar for quite a while, but honestly, there's just too many games.
That's true. Yeah.
I don't know how you can play all these games, honestly. That's why we get together and talk about them. Because
Slacker,
there's no
come
way
on.
I'm going to be able to play all of them.
Well, what you do is you forget everything else, and then you just devote your whole time to playing, and then you get paid for playing. At least that's my retirement goal.
Yeah,
Indeed.
Pick up your phone, email HR@work. See ya, suckers. Send. Now you've got plenty of time.
Plenty of time. Yes, exactly. Awesome. Well, that was our top plays for the month of June of the year 2022. We are, of course, Just Got Played. I am Eric. I am here with JJ. I am here with Steve. And I am here with Lloyd. We appreciate you tuning in and watching us. Please, if you like what you see, give us some thumbs. Hit the subscribe button. We got links down here to a bunch of other things going on. And happy gaming.
Yeah, come to our Discord channel. Tell us your favorite play of the month.
Indeed.
Why it's Ark.
Exactly. I'll back you up. It is Ark Nova. Yes.